You ask for it, and I bring it to you. I am here with Craig Zinkovich, who is the executive producer of Star Trek Online with Cryptic. So, now, we all know that the Star Trek license has been out there for a long time. Tell us how it got into the hands of Cryptic and where it is right now in development.
Well, about 18 months ago, I think now, about 18-20 months ago, we got the opportunity to get the license in, and we just jumped on it. We're such big fans of the universe, the franchise, the movies. Having an engine, an MMO engine already, we're just like, yes, we're going to make that. We're going to finally bring that out. And so it's great to be here at PAX and to finally let people play what we've been working on.
Fantastic. Now, what has the response been so far? Because this is the first time people have really gotten their hands on it.
It is. This is the world premiere, first time the publics get to actually get their hands on and play the game. The response has been great. Bringing it to PAX is really the place to show this sort of game off. You get the hardcore gamer coming right up, knows what's going on, can jump in and play and give us really, really good feedback. So it's been great.
Absolutely. Now, Star Trek is a huge universe. In your game, what is the plot line? Give us a little bit of a summary of what's going on.
Oh my God, you're right. It is a huge universe, and we're an MMO. It's also gigantic, so hard to summarize. It takes place in the year 2409, which is 22 years after the Hobus supernova went, destroyed the Romulan homeworld. So much has happened since there, and the Romulan Empire is still around, has to figure out how to pick up the pieces. The Borg have returned. Probably the most important fact is that the Khitomer Accord, the treaty between the Klingons and the Federation, have broken down, and the two major factions in the game are at all-out war now.
Wow, phenomenal. Now, the chat room wants to know, how big is the non-combat sort of side of the game? Like, can you go in and take Klingon classes? Can you, what is that like in the game?
There is definitely non-combat gameplay in Star Trek Online. There will be crafting like systems. There will be collection, harvesting, that sort of stuff. We're really trying to focus right now on getting the combat, the space, and the ground into the players' hands and trying to get that feedback right now. We'll be talking a little bit more about crafting in the upcoming months.
Fantastic. I know that's one of my favorite parts of MMO, so I'm really excited about that. Now, is there going to be free trade, or is it going to be more like mission-based?
There's all sorts of content in the game. Obviously, there's going to be a huge player base who wants to know about what's going on with the Romulans, why are the Borg back, what's going on in the universe, and we call that our episodes, our episodic content in the game, where you're constantly moving from space to ground. But obviously, you can't make a Star Trek game without being able to boldly go where no one has gone before, and so we also have exploration in the game to the point where you can pick a star cluster and see something that nobody else has seen before. So all sorts of different kind of content in the game.
That's awesome. Now, we're looking at some video that we shot at your booth just earlier, and I see a lot of space travel and all that kind of stuff. So how does the space travel and then the planets and whatnot, how do those interact? How do that?
You move between systems basically at warp speed. When you're at high levels of warp, you're in more of an astrometrics view that we're not showing here at PAX, but the gameplay that you're seeing is kind of system view when you're flying your ship around. It's positional. You have to make sure that you get to your enemy's side, knock down his shields, and get those photon torpedoes up. There we go. There's a beautiful shot right there.
Nice. So have you guys announced what classes you can play? Can you play a Borg? Can you play a Klingon?
When you create a captain in Star Trek Online, everybody is a captain. Didn't want to make that game where you were a transporter engineer down pressing a button for 10 or 20 hours. Really, everybody wants to be a captain. When you create that captain, you pick your species. Obviously, we're going to have, Andorian, Bajoran, Klingon, Vulcan, all of those species are in the game. But one of the things I'm really excited about is the create your own species. You can go in, figure out what it looks like. Does it have antennas? Does it have blue spots? What does its forehead look like? Add its attributes, and then add that species to the Star Trek universe.
That's amazing. How in-depth is the character customization then?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, Cryptic Studios, we made City of Heroes, City of Villains, Champions Online. You can see what you can do in those games, and we're bringing all that customization to Star Trek Online also.
Awesome. Now, is the combat in the game more like an MMO, or is it more action-based?
We have two sorts of different content in the game. There's the space combat, which really, if you sit down and you play it, it's really almost like nothing else out there. It's paced, it's strategic, there's positioning involved, and the ground combat is really kind of a run and gun action-based combat. It's MMO targeting, so it's not Twitch combat, but it's definitely moving around. It's not running up to a mob and just hitting your attack and waiting for it to finish.
Very nice. Now, this is a personal question as well as from the chat room, but so are there any characters from, say, the movies or the television shows that you might be able to play with as an NPC or whatever, like Captain Kirk from the newest movie?
We take our game takes place in the Prime timeline. Abrams went back and started his own timeline, which is awesome. Eventually, maybe we'll go there, and maybe you'll see Pine. It takes place in the future, so most of the characters that you know from the TV shows, they've passed on or retired. But really, it wouldn't be a Star Trek game without being able to go to alternate universes, being able to go back in time. So maybe you'll run into those guys.
Very nice. I know for one, I am so excited. This game has been something that's been talked about for a long time, and I'm really glad you guys have the rights to it. The engine that you guys have is phenomenal. And actually, speaking of, one of the things that Cryptic has always been amazing with is graphics. What can we expect to see graphics-wise in this game?
Oh, I think if you've looked at the screenshots, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I've gotten at this show so far is that, you know, the screenshots, as beautiful as they are, as wonderful, and like people have called them concept art on the web, it doesn't do the game justice once you see it in motion. Space is just gorgeous, ground is wonderful, and the art team has done such a fantastic job of making it really, really accessible, so the minimum specs are not bad at all.
Nice. Now, most MMOs, you've got the PvP, the PvE,
yep.
realm versus realm or whatever. How do you guys do your combat in this game?
There is definitely PvP in the game. Obviously, the episodic, the exploration, PvE combat. But two major factions, playable factions. You can be in the Klingon side, in the KDF, their military, or you can be in Starfleet, Federation's military. They're at war. Maybe there's PvP there. So all up and down the neutral zone is PvP. Again, detail-wise, we're talking about that in a couple months.
Fantastic. Now, is there going to be an ability to partner up to kind of make ships bigger or to make groups bigger?
Oh my God, it's an MMO. It's all about teaming, right? It's all about getting together. When you team up with other players, you'll fly around each in your own ship, so you fly as a squad of ships. When you beam down, you all end up beaming down to do these away missions. And you're going to have the Borg invade Sector 1, right? They're going to come with 5 Borg cubes. You're not going up against them with 1 or 2 ships. It's going to be 35, 45 ships that you have to take in there. So big, huge fleet-sized content as well.
Nice. Now, speaking of the PvP, is there going to be any like new kind of aspects added to PvP, like capture the flag, capture the Borg ship, capture, things like that?
Oh, I thought I already deflected all the PvP questions. Yes, there's definitely objectives within PvP. There's going to be things that affect what's going on in the world. We're kind of hiding that for a little bit longer, though.
Yeah, guys, sorry, you can't get the secret out of this one. You tried. I keep hearing those questions coming in my ear. One more question is the instancing in the game. How is that going to work?
So for the episodic content and the exploration content, it's really 5-man teams maximum that you're going to go down. That being said, there are persistent areas, there are battleground areas, and fleet actions, these large areas where you end up going with, 10s, 30, 40 guys in order to take down what's going on there.
Okay, now finally they want to know, is there going to be collector's edition available? Has that been talked about yet? And also, what is a subscription model? Is it going to be the monthly? Is there going to be a lifetime subscription option?
We definitely are looking at doing a collector's edition for this game. I mean, it's a Star Trek game, right? But we haven't announced any details there. In terms of subscription, it will be a traditional model, but we haven't announced pricing either.
Okay, and now finally, what is a slated release date?
Early next year, we plan on releasing, but I can't say the date or the PR people off camera are just going to tackle me before I can get it out of my mouth.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to come over. I know that you guys are excited about this game because you've been hounding us all the past couple days to get Chris, to get them over there. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And live long and prosper. All right. Back to you, Shane.